Nav filter converge. Velocity solution 3.3 meters per second. Altitude 7.4 kilometers.
Now has radar lock on the ground. Current velocity is about 100 meters per second, 6.6 kilometers above the surface of Mars. Perseverance is continuing to descend on the parachute. We are coming up on the initialization of terrain relative navigation and subsequently the priming of the landing engines. Our current velocity is about 90 meters per second at an altitude of 4.2 kilometers.
OVS valid.
We have confirmation that the lander vision system has produced a valid solution and part of terrain relative navigation.
Priming.
TBA is nominal.
We have priming of the landing engines.
Back shell set.
Current velocity is 83 meters per second at about 2.6 kilometers from the surface of Mars. We have confirmation that the back shell has separated. We are currently performing the divert maneuver. Current velocity is about 75 meters per second at an altitude of about a kilometer off the surface of Mars.
TRN Safety Bravo.
We have completed our terrain relative navigation. Current speed is about 30 meters per second, altitude of about 300 meters off the surface of Mars. We have started our constant velocity accordion, which means we are conducting the sky crane, about to conduct the sky crane maneuver. Sky crane maneuver has started, about 20 meters off the surface.
We're getting signals from MRO.
Tango Delta.
Touchdown confirmed. Perseverance safely on the surface of Mars, ready to begin seeking the signs of past life.
It gives me goosebumps every time I see it. Just amazing. I hope everybody kept their hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times while it was in motion. So I do need to say I wouldn't be sitting at this podium and you wouldn't have all seen that amazing imagery without a lot of support from an amazing team, both those who worked directly on the EDOCam task as well as those who supported us across the project. I thank you for everything you've done to get us here today. Just an amazing, amazing accomplishment. So I'm going to turn it over to Al. Al is going to be our color analyst. Doesn't have a telestrator, but he's going to actually walk through some of those videos in even more detail and actually show you some just incredible things that you can actually see once you look at those videos over and over.
I'm not sure the color commentator is supposed to have as many chills as I do right now and every time I see these videos. But I wanted to add my thanks to the EDL camera team. I mean, these videos and these images are the stuff of our dreams. It's been what we've been dreaming about for years. So thank you so much. Let's see. As Dave mentioned, we'll try to walk through what we see a little bit. We won't take that much time because we could spend literally all day looking at these videos, and some of us have spent all the weekend looking at these videos. But we'll just try to show you some highlights of what we've been seeing and invite you all to continue to look for more things as we kind of see new things every time we look at these videos. So let's start with the parachute uplift camera, and let me give you a quick warning to not blink because things go really fast here. You can see that you can get a sense really of how violent that parachute deploy and inflation are. The parachute pack, the parachute is packed so densely that the pack is basically the same density as oak, and it's about 150 pounds. It gets launched out of the spacecraft with a mortar, which is basically a cannon, with a muzzle velocity of around 100 miles an hour. And the spacecraft itself was going about 1,000 miles an hour at this point, going about 1.75 times the speed of sound. So just in case you blink, let's show you that one more time. You can kind of see that in high speed and then or real time, and then we'll slow it down and take a look at the details. Okay, so let's try to walk through this a bit slower, this time at about quarter speed, and we'll pause at times to point out things we see. So let's start that rolling. Okay, Here you can see the pack getting pushed out of there. You can kind of see the pack right in the middle as it's being pushed, and the parachute lid, which is right on top of it, it's kind of that circle to the left of the pack, was on top of the pack. It was there to protect the parachute during entry. It's got some thermal protection system material on it to keep the parachute nice and cool and protected. And the pack is used to push that lid right off the vehicle, given that cannon force. You can also see some of the other things that have popped off of that lid, which is kind of expected given how violent this launch really is. So let's move on from here. So we keep going out here. You can see the pack reach what we call line stretch. So that's as far as it's going to go. It's where the parachute's going to start inflating. That's about 150 feet behind the spacecraft, and it got there in just under 1 second. So this pack is really moving. That's pretty much, as the parachute starts to come out, you can see the pack is rotated about 90 degrees. That's pretty common. We've seen that in some of our testing here on Earth at high altitude as well. So let's keep going and take a look at the inflation. So that inflation really looks textbook. It's nice and symmetric. The parachute opens in only about 7/10 of a second, again, really fast. There's no evidence of tangling of the lines, which is great. There's about 2 miles of lines in the parachute system, so the fact that we don't see any evidence of tangling or any kind of other misbehavior is great news. And I'm sure we'll be studying this video for many, many years and picking it apart frame by frame. And of course, we have a second camera on board as well that recorded this launch and inflation of the parachute. You might notice the pattern that's on the parachute here. Distinct patterns are useful in helping us determine the clocking or orientation